Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you today with a simple message: fear is not your master unless you allow it to be. First, you must realize a truth so potent that once accepted, it will free you forever. Fear is an illusion. It is a ghost created by your own imagination. It has no hands to hold you down, no chains to bind you, no sword to strike you. Fear lives only in your mind, and it survives solely on the energy you feed it. The mind is a fertile field, and what you plant within it will surely grow. Control your thoughts, and you control your destiny. Think of success, and you will march toward it. Think of fear, and you will stumble before you even begin. You are the master gardener of your soul. Plant only seeds of courage, of belief, of unstoppable determination. Next, you must understand this law of life action is the antidote to fear. Fear cannot stand before movement. The moment you take a step, even a small one, toward the object of your fear, you weaken its grip. Do not wait for conditions to be perfect. They never will be. Strike now, strike hard, and watch fear crumble before your boldness. But action alone is not enough. You must forge within you a mighty weapon: faith. Faith in yourself. Faith in your mission. Faith in the unseen forces that align with courage and boldness. Faith and fear cannot share the same space. When one enters, the other must flee. Strengthen your faith daily, and you will find fear has no place left to hide. You cannot wage this battle alone. Surround yourself with courageous minds. Seek out the strong, the bold, the dreamers who laugh at fear and chase greatness with wide open eyes. Their energy will become your energy. Their fire will light your path. No one climbs alone. The atmosphere you choose will either lift you or bury you. And finally, let me speak to your spirit. Persist until fear surrenders. Fear is stubborn, but so are you. Fear is loud, but your will is louder. Fear will attack you once, twice, 100 times. But if you stand firm, if you rise after every fall, if you refuse to yield, fear will grow wary, and you will stand victorious. You were not born to be a prisoner of fear. You were born to command life, to mold your future with the fierce power of a mind that knows no defeat. Rise up, strike fear down, and never, never allow it to rise again. Fear is one of the greatest illusions ever created by the human mind. It has no form, no weight, no substance of its own, yet it possesses the terrifying ability to paralyze even the strongest of men and women. Fear is like a shadow in the night. It seems real. It appears threatening, but when you shine the light of understanding upon it, you find that there is nothing there. It was never real. It was only your imagination painting pictures on the canvas of your mind. Every fear you have ever felt, whether it was fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of poverty, fear of criticism, or fear of the unknown, was born not from reality, but from your interpretation of reality. It is not the situation itself that creates fear, but your mental reaction to it. What one person may fear, another may embrace with excitement. This simple truth reveals that fear is not a force of the outside world. It is a force from within. And what comes from within can be mastered, reshaped, and ultimately destroyed. Understand this: fear thrives on uncertainty and ignorance. It feeds on your doubts, your lack of clarity, your refusal to confront the facts. Once you face what you fear, once you expose it to the light of reason, fear loses its power. It shrinks, withers, and dies. Like mist under the morning sun, it vanishes when you dare to look closely and question its existence. Fear can only survive when you believe it without examination. Most people live under the heavy chains of fear because they never stop to ask themselves, is this fear real, or is it a story I am telling myself? They accept fear's presence as natural, as inevitable. But the truth is that fear is learned. No child is born with the fear of speaking in public, or the fear of poverty, or the fear of failure. These fears are taught, absorbed from the environment, and accepted without challenge. And anything that is learned can be unlearned. When you truly grasp the idea that fear is nothing but a ghost, you free yourself. You realize that the things you dread are no greater than the monsters under your bed when you were a child, scary only until you turned on the light and saw the truth. That light is your awareness. It is your willingness to see fear for what it is An illusion with no teeth, no claws, no true power. This is the first and most vital step to destroying fear forever. You must refuse to be tricked by your own mind. You must rise up with the courage to say, I see you, fear. I know you are not real. You will not control me. And with that declaration, you reclaim the power that was always yours. The power to choose your thoughts, the power to direct your mind, the power to live free. Fear is nothing unless you give it something to hold on to. Withdraw your belief in it and you will watch it crumble into dust. It was never a giant. It was only your shadow, stretched and distorted by the false light of doubt. Now is the time to see clearly. Now is the time to step into the truth. Now is the time to destroy the illusion of fear forever. The mind is the most powerful force you possess, and yet it is the least understood and the least controlled by most people. Those who fail to master their thoughts become slaves to their emotions, their fears, and the opinions of others. But those who learn to control their thoughts rise above the noise of the world. They command their destiny with a calm, steady hand. To destroy fear forever, you must first seize control of the battleground where all fear is born, your own mind. Every thought you entertain carries with it a vibration, an energy that shapes your feelings, your actions, and ultimately your results. A mind filled with fear-based thoughts will lead to hesitation, paralysis, and defeat. A mind filled with courage-based thoughts will lead to bold action, persistence, and triumph. Your outer world is nothing more than a reflection of the inner world you cultivate. If you plant seeds of doubt, you will harvest a crop of failure. If you plant seeds of faith, you will reap a harvest of victory. The tragedy is that most people allow their minds to operate like an open field, accepting any seed that the winds of circumstance or the opinions of others might blow their way. They think thoughts of lack because the news tells them to. They think thoughts of inferiority because someone once criticized them. They think thoughts of fear because they see others living in fear. They do not choose their thoughts. They react to whatever thoughts happen to show up. This is not mastery. This is surrender. You must become the ruler of your mind, standing at the gate and deciding with absolute authority which thoughts you will permit and which you will reject. You must become intolerant of fear, doubt, and negativity. When a thought enters that is unworthy of your destiny, you must cast it out as you would cast out a thief trying to enter your home. You must say, no, I will not allow this thought to take root in my mind. I will think only thoughts that serve my purpose, strengthen my spirit, and align with my vision. This is not easy. Controlling your thoughts requires discipline, vigilance, and persistence. It requires you to become conscious of what you are thinking all day long, not just in moments of crisis, but in every moment. You must constantly ask yourself, is this thought lifting me up or pulling me down? Is it moving me closer to my goals or further away? And when you find a thought that weakens you, you must replace it immediately with a thought that empowers you. It is within your power to direct your mind toward anything you choose. If you want to think thoughts of courage, think of times when you succeeded. If you want to think thoughts of abundance, focus on the wealth of opportunities that surround you. If you want to think thoughts of love, concentrate on the people who believe in you and the dreams you are chasing. Your mind will respond to your commands if you give them clearly, firmly, and consistently. Understand that your mind is a tool. It is not your master unless you make it so. It is a servant, and it will serve you faithfully if you teach it how. Fill it daily with the images, the emotions, and the affirmations that align with the life you intend to create. When you control your thoughts, you control your emotions. When you control your emotions, you control your actions. And when you control your actions, you control your fate. There is no greater freedom than the freedom that comes from mastering your mind. No chain of fear can bind a mind that is focused, disciplined, and aligned with purpose. No obstacle can stop the one who refuses to entertain the thought of defeat. Seize your mind and you seize your future. Guard it as you would guard your most precious treasure, for truly it is the source of all treasures yet to come. Fear feeds on hesitation. Every moment you delay, every second you stand still and overthink, fear grows stronger. It gains power not because the situation becomes any more dangerous, but because your imagination gives it new life. Fear loves inactivity because inactivity allows the mind to paint the worst possible pictures, magnify doubts, and create barriers that never existed. The cure for this is simple, direct, and undeniable immediate action. When you move, you change your energy. You interrupt the pattern of fear and replace it with the momentum of courage. Even the smallest action weakens fear's grip because action shifts your mind from endless worrying to productive doing. The mind cannot dwell on fear while it is fully engaged in movement. Action forces your focus outward, toward achievement, toward solution, toward progress, and fear cannot survive in a mind occupied with purpose. Many people make the mistake of waiting for the perfect time to act. They believe they need more information, more money, more confidence, more guarantees before they can begin. But the truth is, there will never be a perfect time. Conditions will never be completely in your favor. Waiting for certainty is a strategy for stagnation and regret. Life rewards those who move, those who start where they are, with what they have, even if they are trembling inside. Immediate action builds confidence like nothing else can. Every step you take, no matter how small, proves to yourself that you are stronger than your fear. It proves that you can handle uncertainty, that you can adapt, that you can create results through movement. Confidence is not something you wait to have before you act. It is something you build by acting. Every bold move, every risk embraced, every challenge faced head-on forges a new layer of inner strength. Understand this. Fear only holds power when you allow it to trap you in thought. The moment you act, you rob fear of its weapon. You step into the flow of life where real growth happens. Action makes problems smaller. Action brings new information, new opportunities, and new allies into your path. When you act, you set forces in motion that you cannot see when you are standing still. Doors open, help appears, synchronicities unfold. But none of it happens for the one who hesitates. You do not need to know the entire path before you take the first step. You do not need to be fearless to act. You simply need to value progress over perfection. The greatest battles are often won by those who moved forward while others stood frozen. Your advantage in life will not be in having perfect plans. It will be in your willingness to act when others are trapped in indecision. Make immediate action a habit. When an idea comes, act on it. When a decision needs to be made, make it. When an opportunity arises, seize it. Let your bias always be toward movement, toward energy, toward the next right step. If you fall, you can get up. If you fail, you can adjust. But if you stand still, you lose by default. Fear will whisper 1,000 reasons why you should wait. It will dress up procrastination as wisdom. It will call delay a sign of prudence. Do not be deceived. You were not born to wait. You were born to move, to create, to conquer. Take immediate action, and you will find that the monsters of fear you once dreaded were nothing but paper tigers, easily torn apart by the steady advance of your will. The path to freedom, to success, to a life beyond your fears is paved with footsteps. Footsteps that begin the moment you decide to act without hesitation. Act boldly, act swiftly, and act again and again until fear has no place left to live in your life. Faith is the unseen power that lifts you over obstacles and drives you through storms when the world seems to offer no hope. To destroy fear forever, you must develop a faith so strong, so unshakable, that no setback, no criticism, no failure can break it. Faith is not blind belief. It is a decision, a conscious choice to trust in your ability, your purpose, and your vision even when the evidence has yet to appear. You must understand that fear and faith cannot coexist. One will always push the other out. Every time you feed fear with your doubts and worries, you starve your faith. Every time you feed your faith with belief, with positive action, with relentless focus, you starve your fear. This is the law of mental dominion. Whatever you focus on grows. If you give your attention to failure, obstacles, and what might go wrong, you invite fear to take root. But if you discipline your mind to dwell on success, possibilities, and what you will achieve, your faith strengthens, and fear dissolves like mist under the morning sun. Faith begins within. It is a deep, burning conviction that you are meant for greatness. that your dreams were given to you for a reason, and that the universe itself bends in favor of the bold. This kind of faith is not naive. It is born from understanding that all great achievements have always been created by those who believed first and saw the results second. It is the courage to move forward when the path is hidden, to speak your truth when others doubt, to act with certainty when the world offers none. To build unshakable faith, you must speak to yourself with power and authority. You must affirm daily, I can, I will, I must. You must condition your mind to expect success, to anticipate victory, to see opportunity where others see only risk. Every time you feel fear creeping in, counter it immediately with declarations of faith. Faith is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it grows. The less you use it, the weaker it becomes. You must also act in alignment with your faith. True faith is not merely internal. It expresses itself through bold action. When you act as if success is inevitable, you invite success to find you. When you act as if your dreams are certain, you send a signal to the world that you are ready to receive them. Acting with faith, even when results are not visible, is the ultimate demonstration of power. It tells fear, you are not real. I move forward with or without your permission. Guard your faith fiercely. Protect it from the doubts of others, from the poison of negative influences, from the slow erosion of hesitation and second guessing. Surround yourself with people who believe in you, who lift you higher, who fan the flames of your ambition. Read the stories of those who came before you, the ones who stood alone in the darkness and believed until the dawn came. Let their examples strengthen your own resolve. Faith is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. It is the energy that pulls dreams out of the realm of imagination and into the world of reality. Without faith, every challenge seems like a wall too high to climb. With faith, every challenge becomes a stepping stone to a greater destiny. Decide now that you will be a person of unbreakable faith. Decide that nothing, no failure, no criticism, no delay, will cause you to doubt yourself. Declare that your belief in your vision is stronger than any obstacle the world can throw at you. With faith as your weapon, you are invincible. With faith as your shield, fear has no power over you. Strengthen it daily, protect it fiercely, act on it boldly, and you will destroy fear forever. You become the sum total of the people you surround yourself with. Their thoughts, their beliefs, their attitudes toward life. All of these invisible forces press against you every single day, shaping you often without your awareness. If you want to destroy fear forever, you must be ruthless about the company you keep. You must surround yourself with courageous minds, individuals who think in terms of possibility, who act in spite of fear, and who believe that greatness is not reserved for the few, but available to all who dare to claim it. Fear is contagious, but so is courage. Spend enough time among the timid, and you will absorb their hesitation, their doubt, their endless caution. They will drown your ambition in a sea of what-ifs and you better be carefuls. Without realizing it, you will begin to see the world through their limited lens. Your dreams will seem less possible, your energy will slow, and you will find yourself hesitating where you once would have charged forward. But when you align yourself with the brave, with those who dare, who risk, who refuse to be governed by fear, you tap into a different energy altogether. Their boldness will spark something deep within you. Their actions will challenge you to step up, to think bigger, to push past your comfort zones. In their presence, your fear will seem smaller, your faith will seem stronger, and your goals will feel closer within reach. The environment you create around yourself is not a minor detail. It is a major force in your life. It will either feed your fears or fuel your courage. Choose people who speak life into your dreams, who remind you of your power when you forget it yourself. Choose those who have scars from their battles, but stand taller because of them. Their spirit will strengthen your own. Their fire will ignite your sleeping potential. Seek out the winners, the fighters, the relentless ones. Read their books. Listen to their words, study their lives. If you cannot find them in person, find them through their works. Saturate your mind with their mindset. The power of association is not limited to physical proximity. You can create an invisible council of mentors who guide you with their wisdom and example. Understand that this may require sacrifice. You may have to distance yourself from people you love, but who poison your mind with doubt. You may have to walk away from conversations that drag you down into fear and mediocrity. You may have to stand alone for a time until you find those whose spirit matches your own. It is a hard choice, but it is the price of freedom. You cannot rise while clinging to the anchors that hold you back. Make it your mission to build an environment so rich with courage, ambition, and belief that fear has no room to breathe. Every word spoken around you should be words that build, that challenge, that awaken. Every person in your circle should be someone who reminds you, not of your limitations, but of your infinite possibilities. You owe it to your dreams, to your future, to the life you are destined to create. No one climbs a mountain tied to those who fear heights. Find the climbers. Find the ones who look at the impossible and smile. Stand with them, walk with them, learn from them, and soon you will become one of them. When you surround yourself with courageous minds, you do not just borrow their strength. You awaken your own. Their courage will spark your hidden boldness. Their dreams will enlarge your vision. Their actions will inspire your own. Together you will rise higher than fear could ever reach. Surround yourself with courage, and fear will have no place left to hide. Fear does not vanish at the first sign of courage. It does not disappear simply because you decide to move forward once or twice. Fear is stubborn. It will test your resolve. It will wait in the shadows for moments of weakness. And it will whisper in your ear when the night is long and the path is hard. That is why to destroy fear forever, you must be even more stubborn. You must persist until fear surrenders. Persistence is the hammer that breaks down the walls fear builds around your dreams. It is not a single strike that does the work. It is the repeated blows, the daily decisions, the unwavering movement forward, no matter how small the step or how difficult the journey. Fear counts on your willingness to quit. It hopes you will give up when the road gets rough or when you cannot yet see the finish line. But when you persist, when you refuse to bow to temporary defeats, you starve fear of its greatest weapon, your surrender. Understand that fear grows in moments of hesitation, but weakens with every act of persistence. Every time you show up when it would be easier to stay home, every time you take the next step when your mind screams for you to stop, you chip away at fear's foundation. It becomes smaller, weaker, less convincing. Fear cannot withstand the relentless march of someone who simply refuses to quit. Persistence is not glamorous. It is not celebrated in the early stages. It often feels lonely, thankless, even painful. But it is in those moments of persistence when no applause is heard and no reward is seen that you build the character necessary to live a life free from fear. You teach yourself through repeated action that you are greater than your circumstances, greater than your doubts, greater than the temporary failures that try to shake your spirit. You must see persistence as your secret weapon, the one advantage that fear cannot match. Fear is strong at first, loud and demanding, but it has no stamina. It tires easily in the face of relentless will. When you persist, you outlast fear, you exhaust it. You drive it to retreat, not because you fought it with violence, but because you wore it down with consistency. There will be days when persistence feels impossible. Days when everything seems against you, when progress is invisible, when quitting would feel so much easier. But it is precisely on those days that you must dig deeper. It is when you persist at your lowest point that you send the most powerful message to your mind and to the world. I cannot be broken. It is then that fear, seeing your unyielding spirit, begins to crack. Each act of persistence compounds. Each small victory over fear, each refusal to quit builds momentum. Over time, you will notice that the fears that once seemed overwhelming now seem laughable. Challenges that once froze you in place now excite you. What changed? Not the world. You changed. You rewrote the story of your life by the simple, powerful act of refusing to quit. Make persistence your way of life. Let it be as natural to you as breathing. When obstacles rise, persist. When critics sneer, persist. When fear howls at the gates of your dreams, persist. Do it not once, not twice, but until fear has no strength left to oppose you. Persist until you stand on the other side of fear, victorious and free. When you persist until fear surrenders, you discover a truth more powerful than any you have ever known. Fear was never stronger than you. It was only louder. And now, with fear defeated, you are free to claim the life that was always waiting for the one bold enough to never give up. Fear is a master illusionist, a liar that robs dreams from those who allow it to take root. But today, you have been handed the weapons to destroy fear forever. You now know that fear is an illusion created by thoughts you can control. You understand that action, immediate and bold, shatters fear's false power. You realize that by developing unshakable faith, surrounding yourself with courageous minds, and persisting without compromise, you become unstoppable. The victory over fear is not won in a single battle. It is won daily in the silent, powerful choices you make moment by moment. It is won every time you choose courage over comfort, every time you step forward when every voice inside screams to turn back. Fear may knock at your door again and again, but with the strength you have now built, you will never open it. You will not reason with fear. You will not bow to it. You will rise above it until it fades into nothingness under the unstoppable force of your will. This is your call to live as you were meant to live, boldly, purposefully, powerfully. The world does not need another person paralyzed by fear. It needs the fully awakened, fully alive version of you, the one who dares, the one who acts, the one who refuses to be denied. Decide now, this very moment, that fear will no longer write your story. You are the author of your destiny. You are the master of your fate. Fear is finished. Your life of courage begins now.